Psych out fed people and welcome to Sound 88, your place to get the confidence to try things yourself. My name is Henry Frank, I'm a music producer and graphic designer, and welcome to the show. Today I wanted to talk about branding and how important branding can be for your either the service that you're trying to provide, the music you're trying to bring to the world, whether you're an artist or a music producer, is very, very important. And branding is not just about logos. Branding is a whole operation and it can make a huge difference. With that being said, let's get to it. So branding, I apply that for myself, right? I do have a small, clothing brand that I try to advertise here and there, but there are specifics to my clothing brand. I try to associate it to a particular color. So over time, you might think, if you do get the chance to see my clothing brand quite a few times, you get to associate the color white for the most part to that brand, black and white. That's because of the pretty much the image that I try to bring for that clothing brand. And it does happen for almost any major companies, really, when you think about it. If you think about Google, for instance, you think about the yellow, green, red, the Google logo. If you think about Chase Bank, you think about the blue sign. If you think about Bank of America, the red, Target, the red and white, so branding is not just about the logo, but the feel, what you get from it. And you can establish that. If you're an artist or a music producer, you can do that for yourself. And it's not that crazy hard, especially when you have amazing tools like Canva. I can't say that enough. I mean, granted, this video is not sponsored in any way by Canva, but I use Canva a lot. And it allows you to streamline your brand, to streamline what you're doing and to present it the same way every time you trying to release a new product or a new video, anything of that sort. It allows you to stay on track as far as branding, so that the moment somebody see your product or your service or your face, they know how to associate what you're trying to present to them. I think it's very, very, very important. So, some of the things that I've been able to take a look at when it comes to branding. First of all, it does help you establish a strong identity, right? Just like I said for Target or Chase, whenever you see the name, whenever you hear the name, chances are, if you know that company, you associate that to those colors, to the color associated to those companies. And it's the same way if you're a producer or if you're an artist, right? I know for producers, for instance, the whole tag thing for their music, if you hear a beat from DJ Mustard, right, you're gonna hear the Mazana beat. If you hear Metro Boomin, you know the tags that come along with that. So tagging for producers is a big deal. Same way with artists. Some artists have some keywords that they'll drop, and that's them. That's the artist, and they always tend to present themselves that way. Why? Because they try to establish their brand like that. And it's very important because, like I said, it helps us establish a strong and unique identity. Now, another part that I was able to put down on my list of how important branding is that it helps differentiate yourself from your competitors. If you have a lot of people doing the same type of service or the same product, there's a way you can present yourself just by doing your branding. Again, not just by the logo, but the feel. If you have a store, right, a retail store, the moment somebody walks into the store, it's crazy. And I know some people can relate to that. Some stores even have the same type of smell, right? Good or bad, but you enter Target, chances are it has a smell. You go to McDonald's, the fries, every McDonald's has the same smell for all their fries, and the happy feel of going to McDonald's, how the red and yellow gives you that fun and vibing atmosphere. And that's the same way you do when it comes to any product you try to release on the market. If you have a certain style of branding, it can help you differentiate your product from your competitors. Now, another thing that I put on my list is that it helps you connect with your audience. Some people, I know I've done that before. It's so silly, right? But sometimes some people would rather pay a little bit extra, right? Just because either they like the colors and the way the logo is presented to them. Like, if they have Southwest or JetBlue, I'm taking an example of two airlines, right? If you have Southwest or JetBlue and they're used to fly JetBlue a lot and they love JetBlue, and let's say a ticket price is like $300 for Southwest, and you have JetBlue that's like $320, it's about the same price. A lot of times they rather go with JetBlue. Granted, they might be racking some points and some miles, for their flights, but they might choose JetBlue because they've been on JetBlue. They like the feel of JetBlue, how they greet them at the airport, at the gate, and on the ticket counter, and everything of that nature. They just love the company, the way it presents itself, right? And I think that if you do that for music, for instance, I'm trying to do that for my YouTube channel. I try to have the same, feel, the same vibe for every video. Not because I'm not trying to be, different every time, but it helps with some type of consistency. And you can establish that for your sounds. Now, me being new to the whole artist part of thing, I'm still trying to figure out more and more how to establish my sound. What is that? It's part of branding. It can be the type of artist you are. I know, for instance, when I'm presenting my music, I try, for the most part, I try to be uplifting. I'm the type of person who like to write or do things that are uplifting. I like to help people. I like to support people. I believe in people. And that's what my direction is for my music. At least for now, this is what I want to establish. Of course, people don't know it yet because I have to release more and more music for them to pretty much see the pattern. But I gotta say that this is my brand, my branding operation for my music as far as an artist. Now, as far as my clothing brand, the color, the style, staying in a certain lane within that, it's like you think about my brand, you automatically, if you know it, of course, you automatically start putting in the same price range. And same thing goes with my wife's business, right? GLK Designs Company. I mean, when you take a look at, the type of, granted, she's very, very, she's very, very versatile. Like she'll do one thing one thing today, the next day is completely different. But as far as the presentation of it, as far as how she keeps the same design style, they're pretty much streamlined. And she start establishing herself, her identity with her pricing. She has a very, very, very good price. It's pretty much the lowest within the whole tumbler business. You'll take, for instance, this tumbler, right? She did it for my company, for Fundora Collection, but she's selling those for $45, where a lot of other people are selling the same tumblers for at least $60 to $70. Why? Because it has a nice speaker on it that you can plug in and connect your phone via Bluetooth to it. Pretty cool, pretty good way to advertise your business, have your logo on the tumbler and stuff. But that's just to show you guys how you can differentiate yourself with certain key elements. Like I said, my wife's business with her pricing, great quality, great pricing. Of course, she has to know how to shop for the right materials in order for her to make a profit. So that comes down to that as well. Sometimes some companies would like to offer something cheaper than their competition, but at the end of the day, they have to turn a profit. Okay, so beyond that, I have on my list that it also help with recognition and credibility. So if you start presenting yourself, whether again your service or your product, if it stays consistent, they know what to expect. Talking about the customers, they know what to expect. They know when they walk into your store what the feel is gonna be. That's a perfect example here in Florida. You have Publix, right? The grocery store Publix. Like, you know, when you get in there, most of the time, this is the culture that they try to bring around. Like, you walk into the store, most of the time they're smiling, they're trying to help people. The same with Chick-fil-A. Like, this is a culture. You know, when you get in there, this is the type of vibe you're gonna get. That's a branding. It's not because Chick-fil-A is just red or Publix just green. Granted, these are aspects of branding, but the feel, the vibe. But you may start comparing the prices. If you want something cheaper, you may go to another store in order to compensate as far as pricing is concerned. So, but at the end of the day, when it comes to credibility, that brings that. You know what you're gonna get. You know the type of quality you're gonna get when you walk into those stores. So that's very important. And that's a very important aspect of branding. Now, another thing that I took a look at, it will help a lot when it comes to potential partnerships, when it comes to sponsorships. Why a lot of companies would look at what you're doing in a way where they've seen that you've been releasing the same type of products or service, and it stays in line with what your branding. It stays in line with the color, with how you present it. Therefore, the expectation is, hey, we kind of see the same style of what you're doing. It kind of aligns with our values. It aligns with the way we want to do our marketing, our marketing operations. And by seeing that from you, they will tend to go along with the way you deliver your products. In that sense, they'll try to sponsor you because they can see their image, their product on your platform. And I think I'm gearing towards perfect example of YouTube videos. YouTube videos, you start having, you start gaining your subscribers, and your platform is getting larger. At that point, if a company trying to approach you, they already see who's watching your channel, what is the market you're trying to target in the first place. Then if that's a product that they know this market will probably like, they'll go along with your branding, if your branding is the right branding. So with that being said, if this is your first time, definitely consider to subscribe. Like I always say, I'm not just asking for a subscription. I hope I can earn a subscription from you. And if you're all about music production, independent music, recording music by yourself, trying to record videos by yourself, this is your channel. This is definitely your channel. And I'm on a journey to try to increase, everything that I'm doing and to be better at it. And I want to do it with you. With that being said, see you next time.